Types of stretching techniques. So first we have ballistic stretching. Ballistic stretching aims to push a moving body or limb past its natural range of motion by using its momentum. So by using your extended muscles as a spring to pull you out of the stretch position, you are warming up or stretching by bouncing into or out of a stretch posture. For instance, repeatedly jumping down to touch your toes, this kind of stretching is not thought to be beneficial and can result in harm. It prevents your muscles from relaxing and acclimating to the stretched position. Instead, it might be frequently trigger the stretch reflex, causing them to tighten up. Next is the dynamic stretching. Active movements that allow joints and muscles to fully extend their range of motion are known as the dynamic stretches. They might be utilized to aid in preparing your bodies for exercise. Functional dynamic stretches can imitate the movements of the activity or sport you're about to engage in. And before entering the water, a swimmer can, for instance, circle their arms before engaging in any form of exercises. The dynamic stretches can also involve a sequence of exercises to get the body moving. Examples include the leg swings up against a wall, walking lunges, and trunk twist. Next is the active stretching. Static active stretching is another name for active stretching. An active stretch is one in which you adopt a position and maintain if they are entirely on your own power from your agonist muscles. For instance, raising your leg high and maintaining it there with nothing else apart from your leg muscles themselves to support it through reciprocal inhibition. The tension of the agonist during an active stretch aids in relaxing the antagonist muscles. Next is the isometric stretching. So the isometric stretching involves the resistance of muscle groups through isometric contractions of the stretch muscles. It is a sort of static stretching, meaning it does not employ motion. And isometric stretching is a far more efficient than passive or active stretching alone, and it is one of the quickest strategies to improve static passive flexibility. And also, isometric stretches appear to lessen the pain typically associated with stretching while simultaneously helping to build strength in the tense muscles. Then lastly is the PNF or the proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation stretching. It was initially developed as a method of rehabilitating stroke victims. And PNF refers to any of several post-isometric relaxation stretching techniques in which a muscle group is passively stretched, then contracts isometrically against resistance while in the stretched position, and then it passively stretches again through the resulting increased range of motion. PNF stretching usually employs the use of a partner to provide resistance against the isometric contraction and then later to facilitate the joint through its increased range of motions. And it may be performed, however, without a partner. Although it is usually more effective with a partner's assistance, most PNF stretching techniques employ isometric agonist contraction or relaxation, where the stretch muscles are contracted isometrically and then relax. And some, the stretch muscles are contracted isometrically, then relax. And some PNF techniques also employ isometric agonist contraction, where the antagonists of the stretch muscles are contracted. In all cases, it is important to note that stretch muscles should be rested or relaxed for at least 20 seconds before performing another PNF technique. So where are the stretching techniques? So first is the hold relax. So this technique is also called the contract relax. So after assuming an initial passive stretch, the muscles is being stretched is isometrically contracted for 7 to 15 seconds, which the muscles is briefly relaxed for 2 to 3 seconds, then immediately subjected to a passive stretch, which stretches the muscles even farther than the initial passive stretch. So this final passive stretch is held for 10 to 15 seconds and the muscles is then relaxed for 20 seconds before performing another PNF technique. The second one is the hold, relax, contract. This technique is called the contact relax contract. And the contract relax antagonist contract or crack, it involves performing two isometric contractions. First of the agonist, then the antagonist. So the first part is similar to the hold relax where after assuming an initial passive stretch, the stretch muscles is isometrically contracted for 7 to 15 seconds. Then the muscles is relaxed while its antagonist immediately performs an isometric contractions that is held for 7 to 15 seconds. Then the muscles are then relaxed for 20 seconds before performing another PNF technique. Then the last one is the hold relax swing. So this technique, it is a similar technique called the hold relax bounce. It involves the use of dynamic or ballistic stretches in conjunction with static and isometric stretches. It is very risky and it is successfully used only by the most advanced of athletes and dancers that have managed to achieve a high level of control over their muscle stretch reflex. So it is similar to the hold relax technique except that the dynamic or ballistic stretch is employed in place of the final passive stretch. So here are the components of exercise training sessions. We have warm-up, conditioning, cool-down, and stretching. So in warm-up, transitional phase which allows our body to adjust to the changing physiological, biomechanical, and bioenergetic demands during the conditioning phase of the exercise sessions. It is minimum of 5 to 10 minutes of low to moderate intensity cardiovascular and muscular endurance activities, and it increases the body temperature and decreases the potential for post-exercise muscle soreness. Next would be the conditioning. It is 20 to 60 minutes of aerobic resistance neuromuscular sports activities. Then the cool down, it allows the gradual recovery of heart rate and blood pressures and removal of metabolic end products from the muscles used during the more intense conditioning phase. It is minimum of 5 to 10 minutes of low to moderate intensity cardiovascular and muscular endurance activities. And lastly is the stretching. It is minimum of 10 minutes of stretching performed after warm up or cool down phases.